Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Odell Harmon Jr. I'm it, Odell Harmon Jr.
And I am Jared Fradette. My name's not as musical. And you can find me at Toon Velo. So, our topics for this week, we'll be talking about digging up an old segment we used to do. What anime should you be watching?
Yes.
The Promised Neverland.
Yeah, it's the season's ended maybe like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
But
we're about midway through, 60% through on Toonami. So it's current. You should catch it if you haven't already.
Definitely, and it's watch it from the beginning. It's it's definitely not a jump in the middle type of show.
Nope.
We'll be talking about trust busting. What's busting up trusting, you asking? That's the government's finally stepping in and getting rid of all the TV monopolies, essentially. What's broadcast? There we go.
No. Specifically, Facebook, Amazon, Google, and I forgot the fourth one. I'll get back to you.
My bad. The internet monopolies. The ones that basically run the world. Everything you use is either one of those products, and they control everything.
Precisely. But first and foremost, we'll be announcing that Nickelodeon has declared a SpongeBob SquarePants spin-off prequel.
Boo.
Yeah.
Let the boos reign in. Yeah, it's for the 20th anniversary of SpongeBob. And the reason why I'm booing heavily is against the creator's wishes, which I believe, especially considering how he died prematurely and unexpectedly, that's like even more reason to honor his wishes.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, it's convenient for Nickelodeon. It's like, because for years they wanted to like just perpetually make spin-off where it's like Tough Puppy is basically a spin-off of Fairly Odd Parents, just like we got to do good, like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, right? Like, let's just follow this formula and pump out money.
Yeah.
And so, right, the creator who passed away, Steven Hillenburg, he'd been adamantly opposed against any sort of spin-off. So now, just less than a year after his death, they're like, hey, we're going to do it now. It's like, okay, that's in super poor taste.
Very poor taste. Horrible poor taste. Once again, boo. All right, but what is this spin-off about, Jared?
So it's going to be called Camp Coral, and it's going to feature 10-year-old SpongeBob at summer camp. Oh boy, a cartoon about a character at summer camp.
Oh, no, my thing is, a cartoon about the baby version of a character. It's not like...
Right, it's like they took the two things that have been completely overdone and cliched and just
it's not like we've never had a pup named Scooby-Doo, Looney Tune Babies.
Total Drama-Rama.
The Muppet Babies. Like, I like how they don't come up with a name. It's just like literally like Looney Tune Babies, Muppet Babies, a pup named Scooby-Doo. What other baby version show? Like, I swear there's a Sesame Street version where they're babies.
I mean, there's just Elmo's World, which Elmo is basically a baby.
Yeah, and then there's... I don't understand why people in the 90s or whenever that was popular found it entertaining to be like, hey, look at your favorite characters, but like in a diaper.
No idea.
Unless you're like Rugrats, where that was just your shtick. And then Rugrats did the opposite. It was like, we already
grown up.
Well, we started as babies, so I guess we'll just be regular now.
What's it called? Rugrats Teen Dream?
No, it was literally just called All Grown Up.
Oh, that's
so it had a special, which was cool, where they like used the time machine, and it was like a look into the future, which I feel like their designs in the special, when it's just a regular Rugrats episode, was better than what they actually went with for All Grown Up, which is weird.
Well, because didn't the time machine actually go past high school and was like adults though?
No, they were. I think they're actually like in elementary.
Oh well, okay. Yeah, wait, you mean the All Grown Up?
Yeah.
No, All Grown Up is definitely like high school.
No,
they're like freshmen in high school.
I swear you can look it up. You keep going about SpongeBob real quick, and I'm gonna look this up.
Okay. But yeah, so presumably it's just gonna be all the things you've ever imagined you could do at summer camp. Probably young SpongeBob. Probably Sandy won't be there, but an equivalent Sandy will be there. I don't know. Maybe Sandy Squirrel will be there, and they'll just inexplicably have her young, despite the fact that she was introduced to them in the show.
They don't care.
They'll find a way.
They don't care.
Jellyfish fishing, building campfires, being... I bet you $10 Squidward is going to be the camp counselor. And Mr. Krabs will be like the actual like camp director who's like never around.
Probably.
It's not going to be great. I'm going to take a jab at Cartoon Network and be like, so Summer Camp Island, that was pretty cute. What happened to it?
Oh, man, that completely just went the way of the dodo.
Right?
See, that was part of like shows I'm like, it's not my favorite, but this is a good lineup show just to have in rotation.
But, yeah, so we got our answer yet? What,
I've yet to... Wait, hold on. Okay, it says Tommy is now an 11-year-old boy. Chucky... Okay, Bill is 10. Chucky, because he's the oldest, is 12.
That's a firm 6th grade.
Angelica is 13.
Okay, so middle school.
I don't know. 10 and 11, what grades are you in? Okay, let's say you start first at 6.
I was 11 in 6th grade. Because it was 2001.
Alright, okay, let me count. Okay.
9/11.
Oh.
I know.
Alright, so let's say you're 6th and 1st, 7th and 2nd, 8th and 3rd, 9 and 4th. I don't know why this is so hard to count
10
like
and
this.
5th.
10 and 5th. Okay, they can reasonably be in 5th grade.
I mean, you're not wrong, but they definitely the art of the whole thing, I don't know, the aesthetic was...
Okay, so Angelica is definitely in middle school. I'm trying to see if they say what grade they're in. Okay, the point is they're either 5th or 6th, which... Okay, so at best they are in the first year of middle school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know, they had a lot of teen drama going on that was like dating people. Like elementary kids don't date people. That's not a dramatic thing for them.
Wait, hold on. I was just talking to someone about how... Okay, no. Think Hey Arnold. They were clearly going through, like, straight high school problems despite being in the 4th grade.
They were not in the 4th grade.
They were, remember, the 5th graders.
You know, when you say it out loud...
Yeah. They were always, like, Wolfgang. They were the 5th graders.
Huh. Wow, they saw a lot of crap.
Yeah, right? They went to parties and like it blows my mind. I was like, y'all are in the 4th grade.
Well, I mean, like, let's look at anime, right? It's like, hi. It's like, hi, I'm Josuke Jotaro, and I'm a 13-year-old boy. I'm like, you just murdered a guy. You're like 200 pounds and 6 feet tall.
You know, I feel like in Japanese culture, we've already accepted, like, I'm saving the world and I'm 12. But, like, Hey Arnold was very an American show.
It's true, it's fair. But speaking of seeing some real-life hard things, trust bustin'.
Yeah, trust bustin'. Also, I like how that whole section was just like, boo, we hate this, let's talk about other things.
Shame on you, Nickelodeon. All right, okay, so it's probably no surprise to you that companies like Amazon and Google rule the world. And so, and, you know, you all learned in elementary school, monopolies are bad, and, you know, Theodore Roosevelt, trust bustin'. And so you're like, how are these not monopolies? Well, finally, Congress has decided to start looking into maybe these are monopolies?
You know, I read something stupid. It might be true, but it sounds stupid. It was like if Amazon went down, just completely went down, we would lose like 80% of all websites or something like that.
Yeah, because, okay, so... Well, let's just talk about Google and Amazon right now. So Google is what's called a horizontal monopoly, which means they own all of one thing. What's the one thing they own, Odell?
Searching?
Yeah.
Internet? Like,
yeah, information, right?
Yeah, I was like...
Amazon is a vertical monopoly. They own everything...
From beginning to end?
From beginning to end, which means if... I had no idea until I saw a commercial. Amazon Web Services, they issue internet domains to people like Netflix pays Amazon to have an internet domain.
Yeah, a lot of companies, pretty much virtually all of Amazon competitors pay Amazon to have a website.
Right? It's like, and then if you want to sell anything on Amazon, you have to sell Amazon like the rights to your product. But if you don't do that,
you won't get your product.
Won't get your product sold. It's like, and of course, Amazon still prioritizes their own products that they also make on their own website. It just...
Now, I'm not gonna lie, Amazon Basics are pretty cheap and pretty do what they need to do.
Oh, right. No, like the dongle I bought you, it's like this thing that looked slightly better from like, I don't know, Actually, Apple, like $12. Amazon Basics, $10. I'm like, okay, I'll save $2. And it's just so...
It's hard to argue.
It's hard to argue. And so, but yeah, like you said, like the whole system will go down. So like if Congress... So one of the issues Congress has to figure out is like, if we break up these companies... Oh, and Apple. That was the fourth one from earlier.
Oh, okay.
Facebook, Apple, Google, Amazon. So...
You know what? I don't really blame Apple because people decided to be sheep. They didn't really force no one into that.
What phone do you have, Odell?
Okay, I will say this. When I went to go get a new phone, I was like, what about the Galaxy or Pixel? It was like, oh, if you upgrade, you have to stay within the same family.
That's why you just buy... Okay, and then you laugh at me because I'm like, no, you just give all your life and energy to Google.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I was just like, oh, so you mean I can either get this new upgraded iPhone and pay the taxes, which is like $50, or I have to pay like a lot more to just like not upgrade in the family. It's like, well, you kind of made the decision for me.
You've kind of trapped me inside these decisions, right? Which is which is the very problem of monopolies is that you can't, right? It ends competition.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, yeah, they can't legally stop me from getting the phone, but they can make it a hell of a lot more.
Exactly. So the other problem besides how do we break apart these companies without, breaking apart the world is so recently also Congress has defunded their own internal service, which was to collect information and explain to Congress people how electronics work.
So they defunded a service that would help them in their goal.
Right. It's like they voted to like, hey, would you like to learn something? No. And so, right, and you see this, right, way back during the Mark Zuckerberg interview, where they're like, sir, how do you make money? And they just went, ads. And they went, oh, I guess that's okay. No, you see, they don't even know what questions to ask, right? Like, they ask, like, so are you selling generic ads? Are you selling people's information, which they were, probably are, to advertisers that then buy back, like, you see what I mean? Like, they don't even know, like, there's that congressman who was like, the internet's like a series of tubes. Like, they just don't know. They don't even know what they don't know.
It's funny because I think that's a legitimate question for a lot of people with the internet. Like, if you think of a rich YouTuber and it's like, how do you make money? Like, yes, ads. Ads is the simple answer, people, but it's much more than that.
Right. With YouTube, we could go off the whole tangent. Why won't they deplatform people who are saying hateful things? Well, making money.
Yeah.
It's like, so again, like, should Google be in control of this whole platform?
And the fact that random people just donate to these, oh god.
That too. And so it's like, do we bust these up? Do we make them smaller companies?
That's tax free.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Do we, as we previously discussed, do we convert some of these companies to utilities? Right? Like, could Google be a utility now directly related to the internet and net neutrality? And be subject to these regulations to make it fair and equal for everybody.
Well, it's crazy because I'm going to be completely honest. In general, these companies, each four of them, was for Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook. Maybe not Facebook, but definitely the other three. It's not a stretch to say they are more powerful than the government.
No, I mean, that's the whole... the next segment is not getting political. But that was the whole issue with Facebook, right? Specifically, they proved that they swayed the election via Facebook. I don't know. I think swaying an election means it's more powerful than the government.
The other three are definitely more powerful than the government. Like, Facebook might still be in a gray area because it's people using Facebook, not Facebook itself.
It's more of an echo chamber.
Yeah, like, Facebook, company...
It's that scene from Totally Spies where they bounce a laser between two mirrors, build up the energy, and then turn the mirrors to melt the door. Bad physics, people.
Yeah, no, because to me, Facebook is more of like bad policing. Like, because Facebook agenda wasn't to do these things. They just don't stop it, nor do they care to.
I mean, that's the same with Amazon as well.
But I feel like Amazon, Google, Apple can have a collective, like, we are going to do this. We're going to make this happen.
It's true.
Whereas Facebook, they're just like, we're rich, bro. We don't care if it destroys the world.
Fair enough. It's more of a chaotic neutral.
Yeah, there you go. Then an well-organized beast where Amazon's like, we don't like this policy.
No, right. The fact that all the music you buy from Apple Music, you don't actually own. you're renting it from Amazon, and when you die, you can't bequeath the thing you purchased to other people.
Nope.
Which is why I don't buy music from Apple Music. I just buy the CD still. At least I have it.
I don't know what I do is so like I share like an Apple Music account with somebody. Point is I don't pay for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think my roommate does. And so I put the song on my phone, which I've synced my Apple library on my computer, and then when it goes to my computer, I just go download the hard drive.
Yeah.
There it is.
Just gonna. But can you play that then on non-Apple things, right? Because normally, like people like Apple will tack on extra bits of data onto the file to like prevent it from being used.
So I've never done this, but what I've heard, haven't done, just heard, is once it's on your computer, you can then take the file,
run it through a unlocking program,
or just scrub it in the sense that you can like put it like, here's the file. I'll put you a Windows Media Player. You're a Windows Media Player. Here's a CD. I burn this playlist in Windows Media Player onto the CD. I can't burn it in Apple because it won't let me. But if I put it in just a different media player, because now I just have the file. Let's say, if I was to put this file in Premiere and then make a video.
Export audio.
And then export the, and...
Yada, yada, yada.
And
that's how you make the great escape from music, and probably one of the things that we're going to have to look at to escape monopolies. But speaking of escaping, as I keep emphasizing that word, the Promised Neverland.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
So, the quick, spoiler-free, I'll try and attempt this, premise of the Promised Neverland is...
I feel like if we don't move past episode 1, we're fine.
Right, so... Because, right, you're in this sort of... So, there's an orphanage with all these kids, no other adults in the English countryside.
Yeah, and they have a mom, which it's not their mother. They know it's the sister, the nun character that watches over them until they're adopted.
But they all call her mom because they love her and she loves them.
Yeah, and there's a horrible underlining truth of the place they're in.
Right, quickly the kids start to wonder, why don't our siblings ever write us letters? How have we never seen the outside world? How come we've never seen any other adult?
Yeah, and so there's 3 really smart kids, and 2 of them, a situation happens where they find out the horrible truth, and then they realize
decide, we've got to escape.
Yeah, they're like, we gotta get the hell out of here, like ASAP.
Right.
And then there's this whole very intellectual. I wouldn't call it cat and mouse, but
cat and mouse. It's definitely so. The kids immediately start playing mind games with the other kids as well as with the mother. Like who knows what? Do you know that I know that you know that I know that you knew that I know?
Yeah, and I think where it doesn't fall into a lot of tropes is where, like, okay, the kids are smart, and it's a very good reason why they're smart. It's not like a BS reason. And then once you find out more about the truth, it makes even more sense why they're as smart as they are.
Right.
Because they are literally being trained to be smart kids.
Now, all this being said, I fallen in love with the series. I loved it. I loved it so much, I jumped from Toonami to Crunchyroll to watch it all the way through. Mm-hmm. And even though they're very smart, in the back of my mind, I still love the show, and it was so very believable. In the back of my mind, I feel if you've ever, no matter how smart a kid is, you're like, you're 8. You don't lie this well.
But that's the thing.
Well, I know that was right. That's part of the cat and mouse game. No, I get that's part of the cat and mouse game. But no, regardless, just to us, the audience, the way they're speaking, they would not be able to speak that well. And I, just as legitimate real life kids, I don't know, because the kids are just hilarious in the way that they did you take the cookie? No. Right, you could tell they were thinking they initiate a lie in their brain, and then they haven't developed the social skills to tell the lie convincingly.
Well, that's the thing I was gonna say I like about the show. One, because besides the 3 smartest characters, the other they're not dumb, they're just not on their level, are actually bad at these things, or not as good.
It's true.
And even though the smartest kids are...
And they become trouble at some point.
Yeah, and even by their inability to be on brand... But then even there's other adult characters that they interact with eventually, and it's just you learn that they basically they have moments where it's like the show tells you they're still kids. Like, as clever as they are, they make mistakes, and there's moments where they're like, haha, we got you, and it's like, no, I'm still an adult.
Right, so here's a non-spoiler tidbit, right? So one of the games they like to play is tag, and so when they start playing against the adult, like, oh my god, she's so fast, but I'm the fastest in my class. I'm like, sweetheart, you're like 5. An adult can easily outrun you. Yeah. Like, this is a lesson they have to learn.
Yeah. And then I like one of the main characters, Emma. She has an epic realization the moment when they're not as smart as they think they are, as the adult clearly, just from a minimal information, is like, this is your plan. You know why is your plan? Because you're a child.
Right. It's like, you're limited. You're literally, I can already deduce your plan because you're already limited by what you're capable of as a child.
Yeah. And then, and that's why, like, even though they're smart, like, I still feel like it's still a real world balance, because yeah, they're real smart, but it's still very much like, I'm an adult. And then, like, one of the key points of information that they have to overcome is, like, one of the adult tells them, like, as smart as you are, there's a key thing that you experience and information. I literally just know more about the world than you. And that's true in the world, right. Like,
No, I just saw this example where it's like little kids like, spell iCup. EYECUP. What? Because they're expecting you to say ICUP.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you know my evil, nefarious plan? Because I experienced it several years ago. Thank you.
And so, but
do not recite the ancient magic to me.
Yeah, and if you go, into the manga, it just gets better. It
which will be my next step.
Yeah, the show just keeps getting better. It's I will honestly say it quickly became like my favorite series to look forward to every week. It's like One Piece, Promised Neverland.
And I've only seen through season 1. And definitely where season 1 ends happily. And if you want to quit after that, I think it's a good place to stop. But after seeing through season 1, I'm like, no. I need to know a lot more. I need to know it now.
Yeah.
So definitely, I hope they continue to produce seasons of it.
They better. I'm assuming it was mega popular, because I feel like it
has to reach a certain threshold to get published in the first place.
Yeah, well, that, and also because the English dub came so quickly.
Oh, right?
And there wasn't like, it's 3 seasons in English. It was like, right on the money.
Right, it's like how Attack on Titan is only like 2 episodes behind Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like that's a big indicator in popularity.
Which, admittedly, I just watch it on Toonami
because it's that close.
It's that close, and I don't feel like... Sometimes I just like listen. I've said this several times. I just like listening.
I do too. Sometimes it's just a lot easier just to be like, oh, okay, yeah, And Aaron is just equally annoying in Japanese, so... Yeah.
Right? Either way, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Watch Promised Neverland.
Watch the Promised Neverland.
It'll hook you.
Hook, line, and sinker.
It's one of those things where I wish sometimes animes had like 20 episode seasons. Which I guess for the first season where it stopped made sense. Like that's where it should end. It's relatively
short. It's about 12 episodes, I think.
Next season, I'm hoping for like a good 20-25.
Mm-hmm. 25 seems kind of long. Those are pre-Writer Guild era.
Oh dang. Okay. They need rest.
They need rest. But
the story's already written though.
It's true, but okay, the animators need rest.
All right, fair enough.
The voice actors and their delicate little voice boxes.
But so that's our anime recommendation. As always, I am ODELLHARMONJR. And you can follow me at that.
And I am Jared Fradette, JARDFRADETT. You can follow me at ToonVelo.
Have a great week, everybody.